Welcome to Frequency Matters, the RF and microwave update. I'm Pat Hindle, and I'm here with my co-host Gary Lerude. In this episode, we're going to cover our March test and measurement issue. The cover story is very interesting. We reached out to a few of the leading test and measurement companies and asked them what they're doing in the innovative area of test and measurement.
Right.
And we got 4 good articles. Amritsu talks about their nonlinear transmission line technology and how that enables very compact, low-cost test solutions for many different applications. And then we had one from Keysight addressing 5G coexistence with satellite. You were just at the satellite show.
Right.
Then we had one from National Instruments on RF hardware in the loop testing. So that's for embedded system testing.
Right.
And finally, the most interesting, I thought, too, was from Rohde & Schwarz, and they cover what I think is going to be a very big challenge in the near future, and that's 3D over-the-air testing of 5G massive MIMO antenna arrays.
Yeah.
So we're really going to have to figure out how to test massive MIMO, and it can't be done by a wired solution. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done in that area.
Right, yeah, over-the-air is required.
So how about for technical features?
So we have 3 other technical features, one from Amritsu on millimeter wave test challenges, how to deal with that. And of course, millimeter wave is a big topic with 5G. We have one from Pasternak talking about radar technology advances and some of the new applications. That's interesting. And then one of our editorial review board approved articles. This one about a miniature bandpass filter that's done with substrate integrated waveguide and some other tricks. So that's a good lineup of articles I think folks will find interesting. So how about products in the issue?
Well, I wanted to touch on the special report that's in there on EDICon China.
Right.
That takes place April 25th through the 27th, and the full conference program is in there. And we talk about the Global Foundries is doing the keynote.
Right.
Peter Rabini is going to talk about the future of semiconductors.
Yeah, that should be good.
Yeah, and we have a few panels. You're going to moderate the trends in mobile communications infrastructure. And I'm going to do one on 5G, and then there's one on RF energy. So a lot going on there. Please check out our website at ediconchina.com.
Yeah, and that's coming up next month.
It's coming up soon. How about you? You can cover the products for product features.
Okay, so products, we have a couple of product features, one from Radix on a real-time spectrum analyzer or real-time signal analyzer, whichever you prefer. That has some interesting features and quite a powerful instrument. And then MScan has one on their EM Expert. So this is a diagnostic tool that you can use for EMI, EMC testing. It's really helpful if you've got a problem on a board. It can help you diagnose where the problem is, and then you can fix it.
Yeah, I've always been very impressed with that system. In the news, just before Mobile World Congress, 22 mobile communication companies announced that they wanted to speed up the process of the release of the 5G new radio specification with the 3GPP. So they really want them to get going so they can actually start doing systems in 2019 instead of 2020 and after that we've been discussing. So a lot of pressure to move up that time scale.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think that'll help accelerate things, as you say.
What did you see in the news?
So, of course, I just got back from the satellite conference. There were a couple of announcements there that I thought were quite interesting. Tuesday morning, Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, kind of kicked things off, talking about his Blue Origin company and their New Glenn rocket, which, like Elon Musk's SpaceX, is a reusable rocket. So that'll reduce the cost of launches and make a lot of these satellite systems a lot more affordable, plus kind of open a new era into space exploration. So they're talking about people actually going back to the moon or going to Mars or whatever. So Jeff Bezos's presentation was interesting. He announced that Eutelsat is their first customer, and then I noticed by yesterday they had OneWeb signed up as well. So a lot of activity in the space front.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And so now we have a very special guest in the studio. Peter Gammel, Chief Technology Officer from Skyworks, joins us. So let's play a little bit of clip from that interview. So taking a step back from the applications, what do you see as some of the key technologies over the next few years?
Subsystem integration is going to be a very key high-level technology, and that means for RF companies there's going to be more programmability that's built into our functions. And then, as I said, we're going to go from 1 RF chain to maybe 4 RF chains, and of course the size of consumer electronics devices doesn't change, or it changes a little bit. So that means much higher packaging density.
Right.
Now, one of the things which you probably well know about Skyworks is one level below that, we are fundamentally a system and package house, where we take a number of core technology blocks optimized for the function and are able to rapidly reassemble them on PC boards to deliver a variety of products. There's no question that filtering technology has become very important. It is really a hot button in the industry.
Right.
We actually firmly believe that with the evolution to 5G, one of the things people really don't talk about is 5G new radio is TDD by definition, so it actually moves us away from the FDD space, and that has a huge implication on the filter technologies. And again, in the shameless self-promotion, we feel actually puts Skyworks in the real sweet spot of addressing filtering for TDD, which is 5G by definition.
Very interesting to talk with Peter.
Yeah.
He's a very interesting guy, very knowledgeable in the area.
Yeah, Skyworks is one of the leaders in this area, so it's good to hear some of their thinking.
Yeah, so turning to events, I just returned from Mobile World Congress, and of course it was all about 5G, and also IoT.
And 5G, right?
So I think people are getting much more real now about how they're going to be able to implement these high-performance systems and very low cost, low power. And to me, it's all about integration and innovative radio architecture. So I really think there's some cool things going on, and I saw 5 examples there. One is they're already releasing prototypes of 32-element, 28 gigahertz phased arrays.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of teams doing that. Anoki has teamed up with Ball Aerospace. Just prior to Mobile World Congress, IBM and Ericsson teamed up to release one.
Right.
And there was also a prototype from University of California, San Diego, and Tower Jazz.
Yeah, that was interesting
So they
too.
were demoing 2 of these in the Keysight booth. Also, there was a all-digital radio architecture from Cambridge Consultants. So they think they can get the cost of a radio chip down under 10 cents with this technology in the future, which is very interesting.
That's amazing.
And we also had a couple companies who did some very capable modem integration. So these are modems that will support very high data throughput and use millimeter wave front ends for front haul and back haul applications. So we did a video with IDT on their solution,
Right.
and Max Linear also had announced that solution. So there's a lot of activity there. Global Foundries released a 45 nanometer RF SOI process. So to me, this is the first time that someone's really mainstreamed an advanced node for RF. And I think it's really going to enable 5G and millimeter wave technologies. Unbelievable.
That's interesting.
And finally, the last, and I think most impressive, was Xilinx. They announced
yeah.
an all-programmable RF system on chip. So they're at a 16 nanometer node, and they're doing their FPGAs, and they were able to incorporate the converters and the RF all onto one chip. And this can save around 40% on the power consumption, depending on the application. It could be a little more, a little less. But this will really help things like massive MIMO,
Right.
where it's really going to suck up a lot of power. And I think this is really the future of what's going to enable 5G and IoT. So any wrap up on Satellite Show?
Well, as you know, I just got back from Satellite last night, and over the next couple days I'll be putting together a summary of the conversations and some of the things that I observed. It's an interesting show, as you well know, because unlike a lot of other shows, it kind of goes from the top of the food chain down to the component level. So you've got satellite operators, CEOs there, as well as companies that we deal with at the microwave component level. The other thing that struck me, and I'll mention this, there are so many people that are focused on so many unique things. And I'll use Matt Diesner of Wireless Telecom Group as an example. Very passionate, very technically astute. He was demonstrating some of the things that a Booten power meter can do, some really interesting applications. And you go from company to company, and you get this energy and this real technical insight from people. And it really, I left the show thinking, what a great industry to be involved in, because there's a lot going on and a lot of great people that you get to work with. So I think that wraps up the episode. I should mention that Matt said he's one of our loyal followers on Frequency Matters.
Great.
So we want to thank everyone else for watching and appreciate your time, and hope to see you on the next episode. We're also looking for sponsors, so if your company would like to join us, we'd be happy to have you. Thanks for watching.